Hello, my name is Cimiluca-Radzins, and I am the CEO of Kalogia. Kalogia is a global cannabis platform that connects cannabis professionals with two goals. That looks like four, but two goals. Number one, ending global cannabis prohibition by 2030. Number two, helping small to medium-sized businesses achieve financial success. I'm not really talking about my company actually in this GoFundMe. In fact, really, this GoFundMe is much more from the heart and a lot of the things that I've been seeing that have been happening in 2017. And to me, it's just beyond belief that I have to do a GoFundMe for this, but I'm really not happy. And since 2017 started, it has caused myself, but I also know a lot of Americans, severe anxiety, a severe crisis. I mean, we are every month facing new and different types of fears, from having our healthcare almost being revoked to, gun violence in Las Vegas to natural disasters in Puerto Rico and Texas. And right now in my current state, California, there's some devastating wildfires. And, I don't want to cue the sad music or anything like that, but I want to uplift it with, we can only control as much as we can control. When you think about the 7 habits of highly effective people, it's not really thinking about that fear zone. It's really thinking about what can I do today to help, me move forward, to help my, my business move forward. But I really think that we need to be thinking much more about how can we help our country move forward. And clearly right now we all feel out of control, but if you start small, you can definitely do something. And you'll call me a little bit crazy, but I truly believe that my fellow Americans, a huge answer to America's problems right now is cannabis. I've come from the corporate worlds of PwCs and Fox Studios and, large international consulting firms. And, getting into this cannabis industry, I realized that it's one of the best industries ever to be in, and that cannabis and hemp truly can solve a lot of America's problems. We have one of the, there's so many problems to talk about. I'm not going to talk about all those problems. It's not the point of this, but, 2 or 3 main things that I can tell you right now that are impacting the lives of our citizens is that there are people that are dying from opioids. There is an addiction that is so rampant that the federal government even says it's an epidemic. I looked into the leading, where most people die. Well, nobody's died from cannabis, just a fact. But where most people die, it's from, drug addiction. And drug addiction that you can actually go to get prescribed by your doctor. And what happens, a lot of this, and you can watch documentaries, is that at some point, you have some back pain and, you get a Vicodin or you get something of that sort. And all of a sudden, that back pain becomes so bad, but you can't really afford it anymore. And so you have to go to the black market. And then the black market with these synthetic drugs, and there's synthetic cannabis as well, that's not good, that tends to kill a lot of people. And even without that, Prince, a lot of these people have died from what? Drug overdoses, legal drug overdoses. But what if I told you that cannabis actually can help curb opioid addiction? And cannabis helps solve a lot of pain management. It helps sleep. It helps, there's been, testimonials from people that cannabis has helped people from cancer, epilepsy. For myself, I had huge issues with sleep. I had huge issues with anxiety. I didn't take to drugs, prescription pills, or anything like that. I took to cannabis, and cannabis honestly has changed my life. Am I a stoner? What do you think? I don't know. What is a stoner? And not only is that, but I am a smart individual. I run a company. I run 2 companies. I help companies save millions of dollars, and I've done that for my entire career. Cannabis does not make you stupid. Cannabis is not bad. Cannabis definitely needs to be controlled. It definitely needs to be regulated, but it's not going to kill you, and it's not going to make your kids crazy. Cannabis, in fact, is really what Americans need. You talk to so many veterans who are suffering from anxiety from going to the war that, they maybe didn't want to go fight for, but they did for our country, and they had patriotism. And one thing that really helps with their PTSD is cannabis. But because it's federally illegal, they're not able to, in certain states that are still prohibited on the state level. For example, if you're in Illinois, there's a medical program. If you're a veteran, you can gain access to cannabis that can help you. But if you're in Missouri, and you can literally wave across the river to one another, these two veterans, the veteran in Missouri would not be able to have cannabis legally. They would go to jail. And so, my fellow Americans, I ask you to do one thing. I ask you to look into cannabis. I ask you to, look at the benefits of it and to open up your mind to the fact that cannabis not only can help with medicine and can not only help curb this opioid epidemic where so many young teenagers are still suffering, but cannabis also can help with jobs. If you think, I'm a CPA, if you think about the actual amount of sheer jobs and the sheer money and the sheer market potential alone, cannabis can help a lot. Forget about coal jobs. Think about cannabis jobs. Cannabis has agriculture, it's manufacturing, it's retail, it's medicine. So think about just with this new blossoming industry that's valued over $21 billion by 2020. That's a huge amount. Cannabis can help a lot. But the number one thing that we've got to realize, and the reason why I'm even doing this video, that I hope it's not too long and you're still watching, is that cannabis is still federally illegal. Those devastations that are happening in Puerto Rico, those devastations that are happening to the growers that are, cultivating cannabis for sick patients in Northern California, they are being displaced. There's a ton of people in the United States that have been displaced because of natural disaster. There's been a ton of people that have been displaced in the United States because of opioid addictions. And so the one thing that I ask is that you really GoFundMe to allow our funds collectively together to go back and reinvest and help build some of these communities back. I want to help build back Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is so devastating right now. They haven't had running water or electricity for such a long time. And there's definitely a lot of infrastructure and big businesses that have been helping, but I'd like you to help us focus on developing, again, the cannabis community. I'd also like you to help us fund, educational programs to stop this opioid epidemic and to help us go into cities and states where cannabis is still federally illegal. And lastly, but certainly not least, I ask you to help us fund and give back to all those people who have been displaced up in Northern California, where I'm from California, where I currently am. And I just ask you to give cannabis a chance, because cannabis really can change lives. And cannabis really, in my opinion, my humble opinion, can help a lot of these disasters that are happening in the United States. Because we together must come together. We need not be separated because we're a Republican, we're a Democrat, or we're an independent, or because we're white, we're Asian, we're Hispanic, we're black. Like, that does not matter. We need to remember that we are citizens of the world, and we are citizens of the United States. And this nation was based upon one thing, and that was immigration. And so please, please, please unite with everybody, and please do something good for the world, and please help us fund this project. Thank you so much.